The 8 Series is back, y'all. Hoity-toity luxury types were all Twitter pated last year when BMW brought back its big coupe, but now for 2020, it gets even bigger with the Gran Coupe. So come on with me and let's go for a drive. So how much bigger is the Gran Coupe than the Coupe? Well, quite a lot actually. It's 9 inches longer overall. It's got a longer wheelbase, it's wider and it's taller, and it really strikes a presence on the road. And I mean, it should, right? It's over 16.5 feet long. But all of that extra girth translates to more room inside. I've got more headroom up here, and even better, there's actually room for passengers in that rear seat. There's LED lighting all the way around, and the high beams are laser lights. I know, laser. Yes, I know we were all promised sharks with freaking laser beams attached to them, but for right now, it's just gonna be on cars. The interior is just as luxurious and full of fine materials as you would expect. The seats are really comfortable, they're heated and cooled, and they're also really supportive. I don't feel like I'm sliding around that much. Overall, the design in here is a little bit more clinical and cold than what you would find in, say, the emotional design of a Mercedes-Benz. But what I really like is this whole central control area, because I totally dig on this metal mesh trim and this glass shifter. I mean, it's all just tray fancy. Right now, I can't really think of another car I'd rather have for an afternoon drive, especially here in comfort mode, because it just soaks up the bumps so easily. The 8-speed automatic transmission, it shifts so smoothly and imperceptibly that if I didn't see it happening on the tachometer, I wouldn't even think that this thing shifted at all. In general, the power delivery is just really easy. I mean, I'd go as far as to say that it's easy like Sunday morning. But when you put your foot into it, this thing can turn into a bloodthirsty barbarian. And yeah, I said barbarian. I mean, it's a classy barbarian, but it's still a barbarian. Although this is not a full-fledged M vehicle. If you want that, you're gonna have to go up to the M8. Instead, you can think of the M850i as heavily influenced by M. I've got M Sport wheels and brakes, the M steering wheel in here, adaptive suspension, and an upgraded differential. Now, under the hood is a really stellar 4.4 liter twin turbo V8 engine making 523 horsepower and 553 pound-feet of torque. Now, we talked about comfort mode, but sport mode is really where it's at. That's where everything is going to tighten up just a little bit. You're going to get better throttle response, quicker transmission shifts, and a little bit better engine noise. But my bag is with Sport Plus because it's loud. The engine note really comes into the cabin, and you get a lot of like gurgles and pops and everything when you lift up off of the throttle. Now, on back roads, I can really feel the weight of the Gran Coupe. It's about 300 pounds more than the regular coupe, but there's a lot of things that are going on to help mitigate that weight and make sure that this car doesn't get out of sorts. Yes, there is all-wheel drive, but there's also rear steering, so it really keeps this car rotating through the turns. Plus, torque vectoring keeps that power going where it needs to go, when it needs to go there. But I really do like this steering. I mean, the turn-in is nice and crisp, but there's a good feel to it, a good weight, and I actually get some feedback from the road, which is awesome. And the brakes, man, it's really nice having these upgraded M brakes because it really helps scrub speed off of this heavy vehicle pretty quickly. But look, it can't all be fun and games, and the M850i has got a lot of driver's aids to kind of help get you through that commute. Now, sure, there's, you know, the de rigueur these days, blind spot monitoring and lane keeping assist, but I really like the assisted drive because it takes adaptive cruise control and adds a really good lane centering technology within that. And what's great about it is that it will come to a full and complete stop for 30 seconds. 30 seconds it will pause, and you don't have to tap on the gas or hit the resume button to get it going again like you do in a lot of different vehicles. That lane centering technology really does a good job of keeping me bang center in the lane. It doesn't turn too fast or too late, so I'm not crowding one side or the other. I'm really right in the center, which is nice. And I've got some pretty cool graphics on this 12.3-inch gauge cluster here. It shows me cars that are nearby, but you know, I could just, I don't know, look up and get all of the information into my brain. But it's nice to know what the car knows, you know? BMW's iDrive is here on a 10.25-inch screen, and you know, I find iDrive to be a little confusing. There's a lot of menus and sub-menus, and the learning curve is pretty steep. Having said that, a lot of people here at Roadshow seem to really like it. Android Auto is not available, which is kind of a bummer, but BMW did do a good thing, and they got rid of that stupid Apple CarPlay subscription. Now you get it free for 20 years. I don't know what happens after 20 years, but you get it for 20 years. The bummer is that that is done via an over-the-air update, and this particular car hasn't gotten it yet. I know, bummer. All right, now is the part that you've all been waiting for, and that is the price. Now, the 2020 BMW M850i Gran Coupe starts at about $109,000, but my tester here has got some extras, like $4,100 worth of carbon fiber on the outside, a few more dribs and drabs, plus $995 for destination, and you're looking at a grand total of $121,695 American dollars. Now, if it were me, I'd definitely be looking at the Porsche Panamera as well as the Mercedes-Benz S-Class and probably the Audi S7 as well. But as it stands, you really can't go wrong with this BMW. It's sure to get you exactly where you want to go and get you there in style. Okay, I want to know what you think because this car is really expensive. Would you spend 121 bucks on one car or would you get multiple cars? Let me know in the comments, and as always, be sure to like and subscribe.